Thank you, President Hample. The next speaker is unique as he serves not only as a faculty member at Mary Washington, but an alumnus as well. It is with greatest pleasure that I introduce you to Dr. Jeffrey McClurkin, Chair of the History Department.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Quincy. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to the incoming class of 2012, to my faculty colleagues. Apparently I'm not supposed to thank you. The members of the Honor Council, and all of our distinguished guests today. My remarks this afternoon, however, are directed specifically at our incoming students, both the class of 2012 and those who've transferred in. I have some sense of what you're thinking right now, and Quincy has told you why. 18 years ago, I sat where you sit right now as a first-year student in what would become Mary Washington's class of 1994. Now, 18 years is a long time, and the world was very different back then. No IM, no YouTube, no cell phones smaller than a brick, no laptops smaller than a suitcase, and of course I didn't yet have iPhone envy, which Dr. Poole has made worse by showing me his before we came up here. Yet even though much has changed, much has stayed the same. Then, like now, a Bush was in the White House. Then, like now, conflict in Iraq was brewing. And then, like now, here in Fredericksburg, Dodd Auditorium was the grand stage for our institution's annual ritual. I remember a number of things about it. I remember I was hot. I remember I was overdressed, not like today, of course, but I think the sports coat was definitely too much. I remember that I was tired after moving in of participating in numerous orientation events and playing the name game 100 different times in 100 different ways. I remember that I was too tall for the seats and I kept smashing my knees on the row in front of me. And with all apologies to this afternoon's speakers, I don't remember anyone who spoke that night or what they said except in the most general way. But what I do remember is reciting the honor pledge and signing my pledge card. I remember thinking, this was kind of a big fuss to be made over honor. What was the big deal? 4 years later, however, when I crossed the stage at graduation, completing my journey from Dodd to Ball Circle, the events of this night meant a lot more to me. It meant 4 years of unlocked dorm room doors. It meant leaving my backpack in classrooms and study rooms across campus. It meant a student community of trust. And most of all, it meant that my word was something that my fellow students, my professors, and my administrators believed. Now, like many of us, I was tempted to run afoul of the honor code on occasion. But the events of this night helped me to internalize the principles which are the bedrock of our identity as citizens of an institution called Mary Washington. Words and deeds that we can believe in became an integral part of who I am. Now, I'll spare you the details of the glory days of the early 1990s. I think they're only glorious in retrospect. I would like to speak to you about the faculty perspective on the Honor Code. At its best, Mary Washington's Honor Code has both a practical and an ennobling power. Now, there are at least two direct results of the Honor Code that affect faculty on a daily basis. Two results that I didn't really understand when I was a student. First, faculty are teachers, not proctors. Now, I left here to go to the Johns Hopkins University, very particular about that, to get my PhD in history. Now, while I was there, I was a teaching assistant for a 300-person Western Civilization course. Now, TAs and 300-person courses are two things you will not have here. Now, when it came time to take the first test, the professor actually had to reserve a separate, equally large classroom. It turned out to be in another building in order to give the exam. Why? Because they needed to have an empty seat in between each student to make sure that they didn't cheat. My job as a TA was to walk around the room, looking over people's shoulders, making sure that they weren't copying over the person next to them. What an amazingly different experience it is to teach here. Although some of your professors may stay in the classroom during tests in case you have questions, many of them don't, and they don't need to, because of the Honor Code. Second, the presumption of honesty and integrity transforms the teacher-student relationship at Mary Washington. When you sign your name to a test, an assignment, or paper, We know that your honor, your identity as a Mary Washington student is at stake. We know that you don't sign that name lightly. We know that our default position is one of trust, that the work you've presented as your own is your own. Now, that presumption of honesty means that students and faculty at Mary Washington start out closer together than strangers normally would. It means we don't waste time or mental energy in behavior like proctoring that's based in distrust. It means that we are partners in learning from today forward. Now, in a larger sense, you are joining an academic community of trust and integrity tonight. So, you might be wondering, what do we as faculty expect from you as students? Well, quite frankly, we expect a lot. Being a part of this community of scholars means more than just not lying, but instead living a life of integrity and honor. It means more than just not cheating, but studying and working hard to master the skills and knowledge of your chosen course of study. It means more than just not plagiarizing Wikipedia or a plethora of other increasingly available on and offline sources, but rather claiming boldly and defending clearly your own ideas in papers and projects, in blogs and wikis, in lab reports and tests, in essays and exams. This is not a one-sided exchange for you, however. In return for your commitment tonight and for the rest of your time here, we as faculty join you in this academic community of trust, of scholarship, and of learning. You can expect for us to challenge ourselves as we challenge you to give your best in and out of the classroom. You can expect for us to be honorable and trustworthy in our dealings with you. You can expect for us to be teachers, advisors, mentors, and colleagues in this journey of living the life of the mind. Tonight we affirm that partnership, a partnership which will long endure even after your time here at Mary Washington has passed. So, welcome from a current alumnus to all you future alums. Welcome from a faculty member to my future partners in learning. Welcome to the academic community of Mary Washington, a community of honor and trust that you'll carry with you into the larger world. Thank you.